welcome. The streets are buzzing. How we doing all? How we doing? Hope you had a great day, and I'm ready to have some fun. Chop this thing up. NBA free agency, no sleep. Team, no sleep out here. Shout out to the best chat out there, the best chat in the biz, the best fan base, and we've got lots to talk about. Really enjoying this free agency so far, and I know you are too. It's been good so far, a change to hit on our targets early, hit on our targets. We knew what the plan was. We know this front office and how they're operating now. They're calculated as well. So that's what we're going to talk about mostly tonight is what's coming up, what's next. There's still plenty of question marks, but right now it does feel pretty good to have hit on our targets. We have a starting point guard that's on the ascend. It's going to bring stability to this team, some leadership, which is badly needed. Is going to bring a calming nature and extension of the coach as well. Will we see some new wrinkles in the offense as well? Plenty to chop up. The re-signing of Mitchell Robinson was a key milestone for me as a fan, and a big move by Leon, spending that bag on Mitch, and of course bringing in the backup center Isaiah Hartenstein as well. But the moves aren't done yet. This front office, they're operating in a very calculated way, and everyone's sort of thinking what's to come. We're going to chop up the rest of free agency and the consequential moves to come in terms of getting Brunson's deal over the line, how it's structured. Is the sign and trade possibility still there? What else is to come around the rest of the roster heading into summer league preseason and then training camp as well? But shout out to everyone out there here rocking here. We always touch on the good, the bad, the ugly, and there's plenty to hit on. So let's get it. The good, hitting on our targets. Like I said, the draft night, there was a lot of reactions, some overreactions. Some people didn't mind. Some people saw what was to come, but that's all in the past now. We know the direction. We hit on our targets, right? Even people that weren't happy on draft night now, are at peace with, I guess, some of the moves being made and why that had to happen on draft night, to see the bigger picture of this thing. Jalen Brunson was the target all along. Truth is, a lot of fans didn't really know how close of a reality it was. There was so much smoke in Dallas that, he's staying in Dallas, it's a done deal and all of that. Well, that just shows you not to believe everything that's out there. You know what I mean? The New York Knicks, Leon Rose, the front office, they're operating in a calculated way. So, yeah, we hit on our targets, Isaiah Hartenstein, and we re-signed Mitch. We gave him the bag. There was a lot of talk about Mitch going as well. I was one of them. I was thinking, man, how are we going to make this work? There's going to be a lot of suitors. The truth is the suitors dwindled down from Charlotte and Detroit on draft night. And then Dallas pulled off that trade for Christian Wood. And then it became more and more realistic that Mitch was going to stay. So I'm happy with those two moves, the three moves done so far. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's next with all the moves to come. And then, of course, Summer League, the roster's been released, the schedule, Summer League, the other one in California started today. So looking forward to some NBA ball and seeing these young rooks, sophomores and the like ball out. We'll chop that up more tonight. And I like the pickups on draft night, undrafted as well, Montero and Trevor Keels as well. Been watching some more film on these kids, and I'm really looking forward to seeing their game in Summer League, which I know everyone else is as well. And the bad, well, so far we've still got some rotation headaches to figure out. We cleared runway for we got rid of Alec Burks, Kemba Walker, Nerlens Noel, but there's still some talent on this roster, right? And figuring out this rotation, it's going to be a great conversation for the coming months heading into training camp as well. And obviously Derrick Rose, we have a bit of a glut now at the point spot as well. Do we make more moves coming up with Derrick Rose? Either way, it's going to be a storyline heading into the trade deadline with Cam Reddish at the wing spot as well versus Quentin Grimes. Is going to have a great opportunity in training in Summer League to show just how much he's evolved with his game, how confident he is as well. And what I'm seeing is the East getting stronger and stronger and stronger as well. So the New York Knicks have picked a direction to go all in on the playoffs, which looks like with this signing, the re-signing of Mitch, Hartenstein, the backup center, solidifying some holes. But the East is getting stronger. Look at Detroit. I mean, man, Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Atlanta out there, DeJounte Murray. We're going to talk about that more with Trae Young, with a nice combination in the backcourt there, and a lot more moves to come. Brooklyn, though, is one team that's looking like they're going to be on the slide as well, much to the enjoyment of all of us. And the ugly, there's a situation out there if Dallas is salty, if Dallas apply pressure as well. We've talked about it at length. But with that situation, maybe they're feeling so salty, they try to coerce the Knicks into a sign and trade possibility. They don't want to lose Jalen Brunson for nothing. We're going to talk about that a lot more tonight with the sign and trade possibilities as well. And to me, the ugly, Brooklyn blowing it up, all in super teams. That's just not the way I want to build. I want to build this team with depth. And I think that's the reason why this front office is being so calculated. So yeah, with that said, that was it. Appreciate everyone out here rocking with us Saturday night. The feeling is right. And for once, I sort of feel a bit more calm compared to years past. On the third day of free agency, we can all say that, normally we're like still glued to our phones thinking, okay, what's going to happen? We're seeing all these dudes go off the board, but that's the enjoyment of the Knicks hitting on their targets now. And now we can sort of look ahead to what are the follow-up moves? We've seen some huge moves out here, but what are the follow-up moves, coming through? And let me bring up the graphic as well. I've got some notes down here. So we obviously have a lot more things to play out in free agency. Now we're going to keenly await for the structure of the Brunson deal to be finalized. We all know this is just the moratorium period. Once that ends and players can finally put pen to paper as well. So that's going to be telling. The sign and trade option is absolutely still on the table until pen to paper has been hit. Then truth is sign and trade still available. Right now, I'm thinking Dallas are going to be the ones most wanting a sign and trade most compared to the New York Knicks. Why is that so? Well, they don't want to lose Jalen Brunson for nothing. But on the other hand, why would the Knicks be interested in a sign and trade? Well, the Knicks would be interested in exploring the sign and trade if they see some dudes out there that they are interested in and they need to clear the space right now. If there aren't any dudes out there right now that they need to clear the space for, and I'm talking getting out of Evan Fournier's salary, possibly other salaries, Cam Reddish, Julius Randle, just to throw names out there. If they needed to clear space to get somebody, those are the guys they could discuss sign and trades with. But the way I see it is a lot of guys are falling off the board. You see there the Utah Jazz, the buzz there, obviously signs are pointing towards Utah blowing it up with the big trade of Rudy Gobert to Minnesota. And what a whopping trade that was, with 4 or 5 first-round picks, mostly all unprotected. I don't blame Minnesota in that market. Again, it's all about the market. You've really got to look at your chances of really realistically landing somebody. You really got to consider that in terms of overpaying. The chances of them getting a generational defensive player of the year over in Mini are pretty slim. So they did what they had to do, just like the Knicks did. They took care of business. Forget the outside noise. Focus in on your target and get them by any means necessary. So yeah, it depends on what's out there for the Knicks. Again, I see the Dallas Mavericks being most interested in the sign and trade. For us, it's like, why would we want to give them Fournier just to clear salary unless we know what we're going to do with that salary, that extra salary, right? So look out for that for the days to come. It's still a huge possibility, the sign and trade. Again, the truth is we just don't yet know why would the Knicks want to clear up that extra money for yet. There's extra talk and reporting from SNY is that the New York Knicks have shown some hesitation in terms of what it would take to land a Donovan Mitchell. And what do you guys think about that after seeing the Rudy Gobert package? To me, that's like, what is a Donovan Mitchell? What is a KD package going to look like? Is going to be insane. You're talking at least young player, rotation player, and 4 to 5 unprotected picks as well. So the topic of today's show is, the Knicks are calculated, but how patient are they going to be? You guys tell me, how patient do you think this front office is going to be? I'm glad they're exercising some hesitation in terms of talking about multiple unprotected picks. Like you've really got to pause for concern. Donovan Mitchell brought in with what we have. Where does our roster sit? Where does our chances sit in terms of contention? But on the flip side is how long do you need to be patient for? When is it being too patient? We're collected assets. We've got picks up the wazoo, 11 first-round picks over the next 7 years. We're going to use them on something, right? We have to use them on something. 3 of those that we collected on draft night were heavily protected picks. So they're not going to do us no good really holding on to them. And of course, we know with this regime and Tom Thibodeau, we're not looking to make all those picks. We're not even looking to make those selections. So yeah, that's something to really, really consider in terms of the sign and trade, and then what else is out there in terms of needing to clear a space. Now, Evan Fournier still has 2 more years. I think he has an option after next season. The fourth year was the option, so he's going into his 2nd year. Then he has his 3rd year, and then it expires after next season. Broke the franchise shooting record. Evan Fournier still has a lot of value on this team in terms of his shooting. So with that said, we've got to wait to see what plays out with that. It could happen any day. Of course, the moratorium period finishes in a few days, so that they can start putting pen to paper. But Jalen Brunson is in verbal agreement. It's just a matter of how the signing plays out. Is it an ascending contract? Is it a flat contract? Or is it a descending contract as well that allows us to open up more space in years to come when the salary cap increases even as well? And what else is to come? We got Taj Gibson. Look for his $5 million to get cleared. So that's a formality. Taj Gibson will get waived, $5 million deal, but then he'll most likely re-sign. So that plays into how much remaining cap space will the Knicks have. Well, there's talk they could clear around about $5 million. There's names out there, TJ Warren. There's some other names still on the board as well. It all plays out depending on what Brunson's contract looks like. I think with Brunson's contract and whether it's ascending or descending will play into the fact of how much cap space, and of course the sign and trade as well. And with that, the Knicks may well have an exception to use. It may be a room exception of another $5 million kind of thing. I don't think we're going to be eligible for the full mid-level, which is $10 million, but we will most likely have possibly the $5 million room exception as well to use. And then you're starting to think about some veteran minimums to top up this roster. You got names out there, some veterans as well. There's a nice mix of young kids on this roster, which I love. But then there's also some older guys. And we know Tom Thibodeau, if they're going to go pushing for the playoffs, then they're definitely going to want a couple of extra vets up in this piece. And then we're getting into later into preseason. I expect the RJ Barrett extension talk to drag on a little bit, maybe possibly into the season, but definitely into the preseason. I don't think either sides are in a huge rush right now, but expect that to get done some point, the earliest point into the preseason, I feel. And then, of course, the Cam Reddish extension is going to be a topic all season, most likely. That's going to go into the season, which is pretty smart. I think for me, they need to see Cam Reddish play some more ball before they even entertain signing him at this point. So yeah, I'd expect the Cam Reddish extension to drag on a bit into the season as well. New Yorker salute OG. is a target out there with our picks, Cam and Fournier. Yep, you hit on that. There's a nice name there with it seems like what's available out there. I don't know what Toronto are thinking or doing, but yeah, he would definitely be a nice defensive piece up in this thing. And then also Dirty says, don't try to deal with Masai. It will end bad. Right. Yeah, this front office is calculated, right? They're still showing us some things, but they still haven't shown the ability to deal with the best of them, right? Yeah. And in terms of front office, looking at pursuing Spider as a chess move, I feel like they're going to wait a little bit with Spider. Like I said, I think they're a bit put off by the what it costs, the cost, man. Like 4, 5, 6, 7 first round picks unprotected. If you go all in with Spider and it doesn't work out, then you're really in a tough situation. I know we've collected a lot of picks too, so that is a good argument against not going in. Against for going in. Is that what are we collecting all these picks for as well? So yeah, this is a fascinating topic. Fan bases are sort of still thinking about it, what it would cost for Donovan. We showed patience with DeJounte Murray, a guy that cost 3 first-round picks, 2 unprotected as well. But by all reports, he wanted to be in Atlanta. So that's going to be really interesting to see. He would have to be at the top of the list. If I had to say there's a list right now, obviously in the future, there's many, many names that could pop up. Disgruntled guys that just want a new scenery. But you have to think Spider Mitchell is at the top of the dudes they'll be looking at. Danny Ainge, it scares me out there dealing with him, especially what he got for Rudy. So yeah, that's crazy talk. And the rest of the league, obviously, what's to come in free agency? DeAndre Ayton will be on the move, right? It's just a matter of time to see which home DeAndre Ayton finds. Phoenix Suns, it's all but a done deal with that. They're not going to re-sign him or bring him back. They're looking for a nice sign and trade. They're looking for a trade partner. Brooklyn is said to be not interested in DeAndre Ayton, so that's crazy. So KD, there's talk of him going to Toronto. He really wants to go to Phoenix. They're going to try to make it work with the Ayton deal. I don't know if Brooklyn want Ayton. It's going to be funny to see. And of course, Kyrie, the buzz is now Kyrie is most likely LA Laker bound. And of course, they're going to use Russell Westbrook's salary for that. So Russell Westbrook possibly on the move again. Kyrie teaming up with Bron out there. This whole Brooklyn situation is just absolutely a hot mess, right? It's been a hot mess considering they went all in. They traded. They fired Kenny Atkinson. They traded, the center out there in Cleveland, the nice center out there. They made all these moves. They got Ben Simmons up in there. They got Harden, and it's just blown up. So that's one of the cautionary tales as to why I say this front office, I'm letting them do their work. I'm not putting no pressure on them at the moment. Just be patient. Continue to be calculated with this thing. So you guys throw us your questions, your chat, all of that good stuff, based on what's to come. So yeah, in terms of the front office, right, sign and trade is obviously the next big domino to fall. New Yorker says Utah Ainge is a rip-off to deal with, right? He loves getting a haul. New Yorker, he loves those picks. And yeah, for that situation, right, it's hard to see which team would have more leverage, to be honest. The whole world knows Utah's about to blow shit up. So to me, does that give Utah leverage? It depends on the market for Mitchell. Miami's going to get involved. That. Jay Dragon, Mitchell's always getting hurt, yet y'all love him as well. I think he's shown a bit more robustness. I think he was hurt a lot more early in the first few years. But yeah, it's a wait and see. Jay Dragon. Appreciate your thoughts on that situation with Mitch. You think it was a bit of an overpay? To me, they're paying for different things as well. They're paying for upside. They're paying for upside swing as well. I don't think Mitch has shown his best, in the league yet, so that's something to look out for as well. Ronald, salute. I'm optimistic about Cam getting a shot. Yep, me too. Now, you mentioned that with Alec Burks being cleared. What if Fournier goes as well in a sign-and trade? That definitely gives Cam a solid half season, I feel, to really give it his best shot with New York, have a best chance of getting minutes, under Tom Thibodeau. But yeah, Cam's got heaps of potential. He has to stay healthy. We have to find the minutes for him as well, because I love the trade, what we gave up to get Cam. It was a sensational upside move. But now we got to see what we can get out of it. And when I mentioned the extension talk to drag into the season, I don't think it's going to go past the trade deadline, because the Knicks have to make that decision. It's like trade Cam or play him past the deadline and sign him as well. And he has a lot of value around the league. So yeah, this front office in keeping the flexibility, pieces like Fournier, Cam, we actually got some pieces with our picks that we can put together a nice package. In terms of a blockbuster package for Donovan Mitchell, I got no doubt the Knicks could put together one right now. We could put together one right now. But how patient are they going to be? How calculated? So you maybe wait for Donovan Mitchell for 1 more year or 2 more years, and then he's a free agent or soon to be free agent. Then you have a heap more leverage. So I know it's something that not every fan wants to think about or hear about. Some fans want to go all in right now. With their targets, it depends on who their targets are. But with Mitchell, it might be the best thing to be patient for another year or two, right? Keep our picks and then go all in. But could they make that package right now? I think they could, right? They've got 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. They could package 6, 7 of those unprotected with Quickly, Obi, Grimes, whoever else, Rokas, if they want to oversee stash salary as well. But yeah, it would definitely be a huge whopping offer and a scary one. Like J Dub says, we need to keep our picks because the 2023 draft is looking lit as well. Yep, no doubt it is, J Dub. The draft is generational talent. And you got the Thompson twins that could go in the top 5, top 10. They're playing for overtime elite, right? If we miss out on the playoffs or the play-in, we could definitely find ourselves in a situation to get a star potential talent in this coming draft. I just don't know if that's their plan. In terms of their plan, I think their plan is to get back into the playoffs this season and not build through the draft. Right, use their connections around the league. Jason says, I don't think Spider wants to be in New York as much as fans think. Yeah, I've been hearing a few comments about that lately, Jason, as well. Yeah, he's a Mets fan. He's from New York. I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool playing in front of his family. But yeah, how much does he really want to be a New York Knick? We saw Jalen Brunson, put his money where his mouth is. Jalen Brunson really, really wanted to be a New York Knick. Now that's legit. Turning down a 5th year in a city with in a state with no state taxes. I mean, that's showing you really wanted to be a New York Knick. So if Donovan Mitchell really wants to be a New York Knick, he'd James Harden that thing. He'd Carmelo Anthony that thing. So yeah, it might be right there, Jason. Brunson Mitchell would be the worst defensive backcourt in the league. Yeah, dirty. Definitely some concerns over that defensive tandem. So, but offensively, it'd be isolation. It'd be nice. It'd be shot creation. Plenty of that good stuff as well. And I think I know that's what the front office is thinking about. They're thinking about fit, all of this stuff, right? They can't afford to mess this thing up, right? This will be their legacy, right? Let's face it, this Jalen Brunson swing, that's no legacy move. That's slowly building for when you're going to strike. And that's what it's all about tonight. When are the Knicks going to strike? When are they going to throw all these picks and everything and go all in, right? All in. There's no going back. Look what Brooklyn Nets did. When you go all in, it's all in. There's no mulligan. There's no retracting that. with that situation. Yeah, I like moves like this, OG Anunoby, solidifying our roster. Let's get back into the playoffs first before we start talking about contention and things like that. Not many teams go from outside of the play-in to straight up to contending. Most of the time it takes slow moves or consequential moving to put yourself in a position to be more attractive as well. And Ronald's saying, how many games did Mitch miss this past season? So, yeah, he was pretty durable. Not sure how many, but yeah, I can understand some concerns that fans do have with paying, with paying a big player like that that's had some injury concerns in the past. Almighty Finesse, salute. Keldon Johnson, yep, he'd be a nice fit. Too versatile. I love the Knicks to get more versatile. That's what OG would do as well. When we talk about versatility, the Knicks were 30th. As I've been saying a lot on most of my shows, we were dead last. You look at our big dog, Julius Randle, like he can't play. I would like to see him at the 5 a bit more, but Tibbs doesn't like him at the 5. So you got a guy, your main guy, that won't play any other position. So yeah, J Boog in the house, salute. If Garland got 193, what are we going to do with RJ Barrett? That's the money question, J Boogie, the $1 million question. What are we going to do? We're going to pay the man first. That's a no-brainer. How much? Hey, let him dictate how much. I think the smart move is bring him in, man. Let him light it up preseason, early into the season. That's why I got there on the graphic. I said expect the RJ extension talk to drag a little into preseason. Expect it to drag a little because truth be told, there's no need on both sides. There's no need to offer him 193 yet. I don't think there's any need to lowball him either. Just let him come in, let him win it, let him win the money, let him win it. I feel that's what I would do as well. Yeah, it's amazing how the Lakers get whoever they want, even when they have limited to no assets. I was thinking the same thing, Ronald, but I think Kyrie's coming with baggage of his own. I think the market for Kyrie is so low that the Lakers actually got into that sweepstakes. And I don't know how many other assets they've got. They've got THT, maybe Kendrick Nunn, some other picks as well. I think, yeah, I'll believe it when they do it, but I think, yeah, they've got a shot. They've got a shot to get it done. Because let's look at how many teams around the league want Kyrie, right? I don't know how many teams around this league want Kyrie right now. Yeah, he was the leader in offensive rebounds for us. For around the league, I'm not quite sure. And I salute Billy. Our front office been on point thus far, not perfect, but remaining flexible in terms of our ability to pursue whomever. I love that last part, Billy. Remaining flexible in terms of our ability to pursue whomever, right? Like Ronald says, you mentioned the Lakers, Miami. It just seems like there are certain teams that are always in talks to land a dude. That's what I want the New York Knicks to be. I want the New York Knicks to be that team that's like always in the convo, right? So yeah, like you said, you're on point, remaining flexibility. Don't force the issue, right? I'm liking the patience so far. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they went all in on DeJounte. Those opportunities, let me stress, those opportunities don't come along every day to get a player like a DeJounte Murray who's on the incline as well. He's on the incline. And, but thinking about it, two unprotected picks with where we're at right now, I'm not mad at them. I would have liked to see them get involved, but I'm not mad at them as well. Again, they're calculated. Is Donovan their real target, right? Until you're out of the equation, why would you deviate from your target? DeJounte came available, but if Donovan is their target and they've heard that there's a chance, then they're going to go for it. And a Knicks salute will be 2026 NBA champs, man. I hope. That'd be nice. What's that, 3 years away? Mitch earned his contract. Yep, I think he earned it as well. Although I am surprised he got more than Time Lord. I think Time Lord's contract was around about what Mitch was going to get. but the Knicks just took care of their man. They paid him. And New Yorker, if Randall's leave Mitch, will get more rebound and steals, all the easy ones, if Randall leaves. Yep, no lies there. And Ron, still Knicks fans in the building, salute. He says RJ is going to get the 5 mil, 198 mil, every single dollar of it. As well, hey, I think these guys are going to take care of him. I really feel like they will. Yeah, would I be shocked if it happens before preseason? I won't. But I just don't know if there's that urgency or that rush yet. Maybe they will wait into the season as well, so you can get every single dollar. J Dub says we really need the young superstar. We need to let the young kids play and see what we got. Yep, that's definitely a thing that I'm for too. You know, I said I'd be okay with the Brunson thing months ago because of his age. You know, yeah, he cost 25 mil. It's a bit of an overpay in some people's eyes. It's about what the market is now. The market's going up. But yeah, and he earned it in the playoffs as well. But yeah, in terms of timeline, I'm patient as well. Let's wait and see. You know, I don't want us to just throw everything in the table right now until we haven't taken that next step. When I say steps, I'm like, okay, we've signed Brunson. We've got some stability at point. We've got stability at center. Let's try to see what Randall's comes back at, see what his value looks like. You know, if he could repair some value, then you start to make decisions, you know, take it day by day as well. Swinging that big trade right now in the crowded East is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. You know, it does seem like James Dolan is a little more patient. I will say that as well, because yeah, some of these moves could have been done, you know. And let's see, you know, obviously a Woj bomb could drop any second, ladies and gentlemen, about Donovan Mitchell. I think Ainge is just playing poker. Me personally, I think absolutely Donovan Mitchell is available right now. In terms of my thoughts, you know, they traded Rudy Gobert, they traded Royce O'Neal, they gave away Eric Pascal, two good buddies of Donovan. So I think that Ainge is just playing poker right now. You know, he's letting all the media and the bidders throw their best bid out there before he starts real serious conversations. And a random dude, I don't understand why we obtain so much draft capital to do nothing with it. We need a star! Exclamation mark. Yep, we absolutely do. Situation. I feel your frustration, random dude. I do. You know, we all want to win now. Like we want to see a winner on the court as well. And we are accumulating all this talent for draft capital for something, for some talent, right? I just feel like these guys are so calculated. There's a couple of dudes, you know, through their CAA channels or through whatever back channels around the league, they know they've got a good chance at getting, just like the Brunson thing. And I feel like they're not going to overpay, but they're going to wait to see for the best opportunity, if that makes sense, right? I think they're not going to force no issue right now. I think Leon wants to be here for the long term, and he's cautious of, you know, overpaying too much from what I'm seeing as well. I think they're cautious of overpaying with the draft capital because, let's face it, DeJounte Murray was there. And Dirty Nancy, if Cam barely plays if we don't move Fournier. Yep. Huge talking point as well, Dirty Dancer. Look for Evan Fournier to go in the sign and trade, if that's a possibility with Dallas. I don't think the Knicks are going to be that kind to Dallas and give them anything else. I don't think they'd give him a Deuce, a Grimes, Sims. There's no need, right? It's a bigger blockbuster with Julius, or it's maybe Reddish or a Fournier. Dirty, most likely, chat. What do you guys think about that? With our Fournier sign and trade, I feel like, you know, we could help Dallas out with another shooting wing. But, you know, I don't know if Dallas would really, really want that either. I know they don't want to lose Brunson for nothing. But when you got Tim Hardaway Jr., you got Spencer Dinwiddie on that kind of bread, like, do you want to take on Fournier? It's, I don't know, maybe a 3-team deal possibility as well. But I hear you with that, yeah. Fournier, for me, if he's here, I'd love him off the bench. I'd love him off the bench as a great 6-man because I think his future is it's moving towards he doesn't have a long-term future here as well. So why not play the guy that has the question marks so far, or you play RJ at the 3 as well. But yeah, I'm glad we've cleared one bowling pin in terms of Alec Burks. So that situation's gone down, and we at least cleared up some minutes now with Alec Burks gone. And Paul says, yeah, the backcourt would be small. Yep, absolutely. That would be some concern. I do want to see the Knicks get bigger. Absolutely. I do want to see the Knicks get bigger with that situation. But with that said, OG Anunoby would be a huge get. Yep, better than Mitchell in terms of fit and D. Yeah, it's a lot about fit as well. Bonson, salute. Yeah, happy 4th out here to everybody out here. Salute. Wish you wellness, health, happiness, and of course, New York Knicks. Plenty of dubs coming up in the future. A very, very bright future as well. Yeah, Brooklyn enjoying that situation again. That's why I put it as the ugly, ladies and gents. And why the Knicks are patient and calculated. Right? They turned over the keys of the entire franchise for those guys. And what did they do? They just absolutely left them high and dry. Now, I know a lot of things played a part. They just missed out with his toe on the line. There was COVID. There was the issues with the coach, all of that stuff, right? Locker rooms, issues, all of that stuff matters, right? How an organization runs itself. So that's why I think these guys, they're being more calculated than normal. And to Dolan's credit, he's letting these guys do their job. He's letting them be more patient. But I do think he hand on my heart, he absolutely wants the Knicks to get back into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Salute to the chat out here. And yeah, what did you guys think of Darius Garland's deal? Right, that just set the market. Basically, like New Yorker says, I would lock up RJ at 27 per. And you made a great point. Maybe it's in the Knicks' best interest to lock RJ up, lock him up ASAP. Yep, you're on point with that. The longer you wait, we've seen with what happens in Dallas. Mark Cuban, he's losing sleep right now. You had an asset. You had your number 2 Robin to your Batman, and you let that man walk out the door, right? All you had to do is extend him for 55 mil, ladies and gents, and he blew it. But we got to realize that we are not better than these 6 teams: Bucks, Heat, Celts, Hawks, Bulls, Sixers. 7th team at best. By the way, the Pistons might be better as well. We need to be real as well. Yep. That's what I've been saying, J-Dub. Preaching to the choir about being real. Now, do I think we could still pass the Bulls? Yeah, we could pass the Bulls. These games need to be played. That's why it's all about expectations. I'm not putting expectations on the Knicks to be a killer this season, to make the playoffs and all that. Yeah, I'm happy with the Brunson move, signings of Hartenstein, Mitch. To me, those signalize us moving in the right direction, but it's not moves that are going to put us over the top. It's just not in this East. And you're on point about Detroit as well with Jalen Duren, Ivy, and K. That's going to be box office as well. I'm just enjoying and basking in the fact that we have a solid point guard now. We have a solid starting center. We have a solid starting unit. Basically, I mean, how far this team goes is Tom Thibodeau, Julius Randle, basically, I think, and RJ. We know what Jalen Brunson's going to come in here and do, but can those other guys get right? Can those other guys get right? And that's going to help this team get in the right direction, play team ball, play unselfish, all of those kinds of things. And we need to get back to our defensive identity as well. And we know Tom Thibodeau loves rim protection. So having Mitch, having Isaiah, backing him up with Jericho, I mean, nice center rotation. I got to tip my hat off to that situation, right? I think Isaiah Hartenstein's a guy on the incline as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing his game. If he can flash that J, he can also defend the rim like Noel did. He's younger, more durable, has a passing game, can find the open man. He's got parts of his game that we haven't seen yet. So yeah, Isaiah Hartenstein's going to give us another different look. So yeah, I'm good with our center rotation now, especially if Isaiah's shooting can get better as well. And I salute Juju 92. TJ Warren, he's another injury-prone dude. If he's healthy, I'd take him in a heartbeat. Absolutely. TJ Warren on this team, that would seriously improve our chances of making the playoffs, in my opinion, right? Talking about filling in that spark plug off the bench as well. Another dude that could light it up or start at the 3. Depends on what you want to do with Cam Reddish, right? And again, throw it in the chat, everybody. Such a polarizing figure in terms of what to do with Cam Reddish, right? He has a lot of supporters, but a lot of people that sort of doubt how it's going to play out as well. With this, it might not even be in his hands. With Tom Thibodeau, with Leon, with the question marks, and of course the value that Cam has around the league. He's one of our most valuable assets as well. Salute Tom. What's good out here? And yep, everybody out here rocking. Spree, my guy Spree, the American Dream. Look out for amazing content from Spree. Don't overpay for Mitchell yet. Still be patient. May force out after Johnny talks to him and forces Jazz hands. Yep. Wise words from Spree. That's exactly what I was thinking, Spree. Everybody don't panic. Don't panic. We have to keep our composure. But they're calculated, Spree. Like you said, they're going to strike. They're going to strike when the iron's hot. They've got all these picks, and the league knows it. Right? You hear Brian Windhorst, you hear all these reporters say, everybody wants to know what the Knicks are up to. Just exactly what we are up to, right? We're moving in the shadows. We're moving behind the scenes, right? When is the last time the New York Knicks have done moved like this, where moves don't even leak out? Fam, like, we are so iron tight at the moment. On draft night, when we selected Ousmane Dieng, nobody even knew whether that was our pick or not. Let's be real, right? So these guys are doing a pretty good job at keeping the noise in-house. What do you guys think about that? We all know they wanted Brunson, but in terms of keeping other things, like, man, we just don't even know. In fact, there's conflicting reports. It's like they pay Woj to make a conflicting report. Then Ian Begley might say we're in on DeJounte Murray, or we had discussions with DeJounte Murray. Then there are other reporters saying we didn't have no discussions with DeJounte Murray. So this front office got everybody confused. I feel like they got reporters in their back pocket, using them to leak out different things as well. And I salute Daniel. Yep. When I mentioned the bad in terms of good, bad, ugly, the bad being the rotation headaches. What do we do with Toppin and with Randall, especially now that we have a center rotation that's 3 deep? Now, I was hopeful of Obi and Randall getting minutes together on the court, at least 4 or 5 minutes, because that would allow Obi to get about 20 plus minutes, right? You say Julius, this is being generous, but let's say he plays 32 minutes. Then you could play Obi 16. Then you could play him 4 minutes, additional minutes at least, with Randall and Obi on the floor together to get Obi over 20 minutes. But how do you do that now with a center rotation of 3 deep? So yeah, that's going to be crazy to think about with Randall, with Obi. To me, yeah, at least 16 minutes. No, that's not enough, but at least has to be 16 minutes. So that means a drastic reduction in Randall's minutes down to 32. Now, I don't know how Randall's going to take playing 32 minutes. That's pretty low. But although with a bona fide second option now with RJ and Brunson, then possibly, maybe they're more open to it. Let's see. And he says, yeah, RJ needs to improve his efficiency. That's why I would hold out on the re-sign and then see how he looks. Yeah, that's a good thought as well. How much do they want to gamble remains to be seen. I think both sides look like they're keen on getting a deal done. There's always injuries. There's a lot of things, in the back of your mind heading into the season. You just want to get that out of the way, I think, and focus on balling out. So yeah, maybe they come to a meeting of the minds. Maybe not quite 191, possibly 180, 175. Who knows, right? These guys are businessmen, and I think they're going to get it done. Yep, yep. Cam is definitely the tease we've talked about, right? A lot of abilities, a lot of things he could do on the court, man. He's dribbling. Salute to Cam in terms of, the move. It's upside swing. We really did upgrade our roster with Cam, in my opinion, and maybe that's why they were more comfortable, getting out of Alec Burks as well. But yeah, with that said, ladies and gents, it's part of the rotation headache with Cam. But the good thing is we got time. We could carry this into the season, get him into the rotation, and put his fate in his own hands, right? Give Cam 15, 20 solid minutes every game and just watch him grow into the rotation, watch him, put on a show, hopefully put on a show. And then, yeah, we may have found our wing. We may have found our long-term wing. The thing that makes me a bit more coy on his future is his value. I think around trades, if we're looking for that blockbuster deal or other teams are calling us, man, how do we resist? Cam Reddish is still, like you said, a tease, and thankfully around the league he has value. He has value as well. Yeah, Brunson. In terms of RJ's thoughts, I haven't seen anything like that. I've seen RJ like the signing on Twitter as well. He paid homage to that. Bonson says maybe I'm off, but I don't think we are far off making the playoffs. We lost so many games with Alec Burks at point, and it cost us. If Tibbs plays Obi and IQ and the kids, we could surprise. Yep, I love that take too, Bonson. Yep, you got to play the games. You don't really know. Yes, the East has improved. We could say we've improved now as well. Let's see what happens. Maybe Grimes and Deuce take a huge leap. Cam Reddish, who we're touched on as well. That's why I said it's up to Tom Thibodeau and Randall. Really, that'll dictate where we go. We get a closer to All-Star Randall. Tom Thibodeau pushes the right buttons, then we're set. We're definitely on the right path with that. We know what everyone else is going to bring. I sort of know what Brunson, RJ, what they're going to come with. It's what kind of Randall are we going to get if he's still here? What kind of Cam will we get? What kind of Tom Thibodeau will we get? And I want to add to your point too. If we had Kemba Walker, if you remove Kemba Walker, who we started the season with, we lost so many games. If we replace him with JB, that could have get us 5 more wins right there as well. So you swap a prime JB for Kemba Walker, or with Kemba Walker, and then yeah, you definitely got a good situation as well. Yeah, and we're not going to be easy to beat. Right, a lot of these games we just couldn't close out properly. Right, Derrick Rose, another one, was injured. Right, he was our closer. So yeah, we definitely have a good chance to make the playoffs. I wouldn't listen to no outside noise about that. Now, do I think we could get high up? I don't at the moment. We're looking at 7, 8, 8, 7 at the most, probably 6. If things go right. But yeah, we're still going to be in that hunt. We're going to be tough to beat. Yeah, and OG would be a nice balance out in this piece. Yeah, his salary though, it's 19 mil. So we definitely got to clear Fournier. We got to clear some salary, right, in that sign and trade to Dallas. If we can make that happen. And New Yorker says we are trying to trade Randall, but nobody wants him. They're scared of him blowing up the chemistry. Yeah, I think his value is low. His value is pretty low around the league for a guy that was just all-star 2 years ago. It's pretty sad. But yeah, the reason I'm putting more confidence in this front office is they're not trading low on Randall, right? There's no reason to just throw him away right now, right? This is a business. Let's just be more patient with Randall. His value cannot get any lower from what I'm seeing. Julius Randle will get back to playing some decent ball with a good point guard, with better coaching, being held more accountable. And before he was sort of thinking he was the clear-cut number 1, number 2. Right now we've got some more help. We got JB, which was the Robin out there for the Western Conference finalists as well. So JB's going to come in here and and hopefully get Randall in his spots, right? And I don't think Randall can afford to have another down year in New York. He knows that the crowd's about to turn as well. Yep. Yeah, truth be told, the Knicks have a good package, John, for KD. I don't think they're going to go in. I don't think they're looking at that, fam. But yeah, I feel like they're definitely able to put together that package as well. And salute Quiet Money. Salute, fam. What's good? Salute to the best chat out there. Appreciate everyone, the best fan base. And this free agency, we're cruising along, I'd say. We're cruising in third gear right now. We got our targets. We're, we got some guys. We spent some money. Now, how do we cap it all off with these additional moves? Cap maneuvering, sign and trade. Is it now that we go all in, or do we wait for the season to start? I do think Donovan Mitchell is still their number one target. I just think there's too much smoke there. They're good, like I said, at not letting things leak out. They don't want a real tampering charge on their hands. You know what I mean? So Dirty Dancer says RJ's getting the 140 to 160. That'd be significantly lower than Garland, who was an all-star though. Quiet says, I don't think RJ is gonna get what he hopes he will. Yeah, that'd be interesting, Quiet, if he doesn't get close to that range. Again, maybe they're a little bit ways off. Maybe this thing drags on longer than we think. But I do expect it to at least go into preseason, right? I'd be surprised if we woke up or we saw a bomb that they come to an agreement right now. It's early in the piece. Yep. Shout out. Appreciate you, JJP. What's good? Yep, that's good. Salute. Yep, high on our guys. I just that's why I'm looking forward to seeing these young players continue to develop. My personal want is for the Knicks to continue to build in the draft. So I was disappointed on draft night, but now that's all in the past. We got Brunson, and he's young enough for me to get behind. There's still 5, maybe 8 years of steady point guard play on this team with Brunson, so I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue with the salary either. I think he earned that. If his play continues like it was in the Western Conference Finals, and if it was, still ascending, I'm good with that kind of thing. Why should RJ get that type of extension when he hasn't shown much outside of being inefficient? Well, I think the Knicks certainly have that connection to RJ. If he gets the bag, it might be a bit more of a sentimental, family kind of connection, taking care of him as well. But he does need to show more efficiency, in terms of what Garland did as well. His play wasn't near Garland. Yep. And Paul says Randall isn't going to take a lesser role for anybody on this team. Oh man, I hope that'd be a nightmare for me. That'd be a nightmare. I think Tom Thibodeau could be on his last days if he doesn't hold Julius Randle accountable. Right? We got serious talent up in here now. We got Jalen Brunson, a quality starting point guard. Right? Randle does need to take a lesser role. That's just facts. Especially with so much buzz that he could be traded as well. So it's going to be interesting, fam. Without Kenny Payne, without Woody Woodson, I'm worried about this coaching staff on the sidelines and who's going to get in Randall's ear. It's got to be Tom Thibodeau. I know Jalen's father, Rick, brings some experience, but I don't know if he's getting in someone's grill. I just don't know about that. The Knicks, Brunson, RJ, OG Anunoby with Julius Mitchell is a playoff team, and our bench with D Rose, IQ, Grimes, Obi, Hartenstein, Cam, Sims, McBride is a strong bench. Yeah. Either way, fam, our bench is going to be strong. Yep. We've definitely stocked the cupboards. We've got the cupboards full in terms of picks, young players. The Knicks can make a deal. I think they could make a deal if they wanted to. But maybe we continue to kick the can with this depth. we add another nice piece like OG, and we see what it looks like in the East. Maybe we could be that team that surprises people. I feel coming in here. Salute Jay Singh. What's good? What's good? Yep. And Billy Goat says, name 5 power forwards better than Randall. In terms of in the league, yeah, Randall can definitely be up there as well. It's about his mental approach. And I guess the right role, the right fit, and the point guard, right coaching and right point guard situation. Yeah, he had to handle the ball a lot more than what I would ideally want my power forward handling the ball. But you put Randall in his right spots, getting downhill, shot selection, all the right things, the right mix. Yeah, Randall could definitely get back to being that all-star. I think, he's still so young. He's young. Yeah, KD doesn't want to be here, and I don't want him. He messed with all of us Knick fans. Yep. Yeah, there's something to said about getting behind a Knick, right? I just can't get behind KD, and it goes way back. To Golden State. What he did there, leaving OKC for Golden State. So I just can't get behind that at the moment. But yeah, look, I wish him well wherever he goes. Look, truth be told, he almost got Brooklyn there, toe on the line. If his toe wasn't on the line, they're in the NBA finals beating Phoenix, most likely. As well, if Milwaukee beat Phoenix, you got to say Brooklyn had a great chance to beat Phoenix as well. Yeah, good point here too. Quiet is the front office didn't draft RJ as well, so you can't overlook that. If I had to say, I'd say nobody's off the table in a huge deal. Although if I had to choose one player that's the least likely to be in a deal, it would be RJ as well. But yeah, in terms of Donovan, if that's their target, fam, whoever else might be on their radar, RJ Barrett could definitely be a guy that is moved, but I feel like he's definitely going to stay. I feel like he's going to stay for now. They're going to re-sign him. Ace of Spades says RJ is 140, 150, not 180. So yeah, based on his play, you got to be real. Yep. I think they're going to pay him based on other things too, though. They want to look after him. They want to be loyal. Let's see. They might surprise me, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's another mini overpay with RJ. They're feeling a lot of pressure again. There's debate whether the Charlie Ward curse has been broken or whether it's not been broken. So RJ Barrett would definitively end that as well. But yeah, he needs to improve. Let's see what he looks like with a real point guard. Now, real point guard. Again, the success the Knicks had was with Derrick Rose 2 seasons ago, giving us that crazy season. Right now, imagine having a healthy Derrick Rose off the bench at 34 minutes of Jalen Brunson point guard play as well every single game. Hopefully, that's going to change things a lot. Right, I think Jalen Brunson is a little underrated. I think in the East, he's definitely going to come in here, and we see here as I flick over, you see dudes recognizing game. You got Mikal Bridges, Desmond Bain, and Ja Morant. Like, these guys have played against him in the West, right? He's a headache for people. He can isolate. He can devastate. His shooting needs to improve off the catch. But in terms of being crafty, 3-way scorer, putting pressure on the rim, getting low as well. I think Jalen Brunson's going to change our look a lot, right? Don't listen to this narrative, the Knicks overpaid or same old Knicks. They're all in on Jalen Brunson. No, I think this is just a step, Again, we were struck out in free agency so many years in a row. So to get a Jalen Brunson on day one, just like that, just to get that deal done, it's progress. It is progress, stepping in the right direction for this organization, right? We have a starting caliber point now on a reasonable contract for 4 years. So let's see. Let's see. I know Dallas aren't happy about him leaving. That's for sure, right? Luka, what's Luka got to be thinking? Yeah, Randall just needs to be put in his place. He needs a point guard that can truly take control of the offense. Yet truly take control. Exactly what Quiet says, right? I'm that dude running this team, right? You might be the alpha or the number one option, but I'm running this team. I'm the point guard. Now, this whole point forward thing, I hated it. Him dribbling the ball up. The only time I want Randall dribbling the ball up is if he pulled up the rebound and it was a mini fast break. That's the only time I want Randall bringing the ball up. That's it. RJ gets respect from LeBron and Butler, but not Knicks fans as well. I think that's a combination, Dirty. You're not wrong. But I feel like LeBron, Butler, these guys don't watch every game too. As well, that's where it comes into RJ's inconsistencies at times. He has the potential. It's there, but he is inconsistent. But he's absolutely who we got. And I'm rooting for him. And yeah, I feel like RJ is definitely going to be a big part of this thing. I feel like he's going to be a big part of this thing. He's going to get his extension. Whether he stays here beyond the extension, I don't know. But he's definitely going to be here for that extension. And just giving more props to Brunson signing. Just focusing on, what he achieved last season. Was one of the leading scorer close to the basket there. We know he's another lefty. He can blow by, he can get penetration, and he can score. He could take over stretches of the game. When Luka was out, we see 20 games with Luka out. He put up average of 22.2 points with 7 assists. So that's who we signed. And this is out west as well. So yeah, Jalen Brunson going to come in here. He's going to shake things up in the East a bit as well. But we need to give him the burn and give him the respect to run the team. Right. It's going to be real interesting, like what the chat's been saying about Randall's reluctance to want to give up touches. Well, yeah, hey, this is a huge talking point with that situation now, especially with D Rose still in the locker room. So JB's want to come in here, but he doesn't want to ruffle no feathers. So it's up to the coach to say, hey, right, Randall, your role's changing now. We got a caliber starting point guard. We need you in this spot. We need you over there. Yet KD, the sniper, is still a sucker. He disrespected the Nick brand. Absolutely, Billy. So I don't want parts of that. I know it's just a friendly rivalry and all that stuff, but again, it goes back to what it would cost to get a KD. Like, really, he's 34. That Achilles, I know he's looked good over the last couple seasons, but truth is, KD, Father Time is undefeated. 1 or 2 years from now, that Achilles or whatever thing could just snap. Right? Do you really want to give up 6, 7 first-round picks for that? For a tiny window, a window so small you could hardly see through it. What, 2, 3 years to try to win a chip and that's it? Then we're stuck like Brooklyn as well. I could see Brunson and Randall going to blows first game. Yeah, well, with Rick Brunson, the coach, right? With Julius slapping the laptop, with Rick Brunson, Jalen's father there, New Yorker chat, that's not going to fly no more. But thank God we had Kenny Payne still there and Johnny Bryant to de-escalate things. And that leads us to Johnny Bryant as well. He missed out on the Utah gig. That was a huge surprise to me. Does that signalize, I'm not putting nothing out there, but does that signalize that he thinks he could be the next guy if Tibbs is gone as well? Maybe a Donovan, Johnny Bryant sort of a plan, a longer-term plan for the Knicks. We know how calculated they are, using connections around the league, right? Striking when the iron is hot. Is Johnny Bryant with Donovan their long-term plan? And maybe Tom Thibodeau keeps the seat warm for 2 more years. I wouldn't put it past that, right? Again, Leon, he's working behind the scenes, ladies and gents. He knows what he wants to do. He's just waiting for that right time, for the right situation. But yeah, I'm glad we got Johnny still here. We need different voices other than Thibodeau's um, associates. You know, we need other voices. We need some creativity, some different things. Well, we brought in Rick Brunson. It is what it is. I want to see what Rick does. He's another experienced guy, but yeah, he'll know Tibbs's plan. He'll know Tibbs's schemes and all of that. But yeah, Johnny Bryant, I love his the way he can relate. He can relate to the young players. I watched that footage again with Randall slapping the laptop, and Johnny Bryant was the first dude to actually get in Randall's grill. Believe it or not, Johnny Bryant was that dude to push Randall away as well, to de-escalate that situation. So yeah, he's supposed to be the perfect locker room coach for the younger players. Is Johnny Bryant? Players look up for him. He's a young uncle for them. And a good personality to have around. Yep, absolutely, Paul. Yep, I want to see Brunson rock. Finally, we want to see him run the point as well. A true point guard. He's not going to worry about just scoring, just like Kemba Walker wanted to do. I think Kemba Walker was a guy that looks for his shot. Brunson's going to be okay. I'll take the shot if I need, but I could also late in the clock I can get an ISO bucket, but I could also get others involved as well. So you get in your spot, Randall. You get over there, RJ, and I'll feed you the rock. So I'll get downhill and I'll get the D to collapse, and then I'll kick it out. Randall was happy with Elf at point. He'll be ecstatic playing with Brunson. Yeah, Allah. Yep. I think he also loved Elf in terms of their relationship. But yeah, a guy that can get downhill, take touches, handle the rock a lot more. I think that's going to take pressure off Julius as well, late in the clock. Again, Julius wasn't great with late shot situations to win a game, right? We feel like RJ or Brunson could be our best isolation scorer right now, to close games out as well. Yeah, so Toronto think that OG Anunoby is on the block because, yeah, maybe Scotty Barnes is their future. And I salute William. Randall doesn't like Mitch. He can damage team build. Randall doesn't like Mitch. He can damage team build. Rick is good with the guys, like a Woody guy. Okay, New Yorker, I appreciate that insight. Let me see. I'll give the guy a good shot. Out here, he's got the experience. But yeah, for consistency, at least he knows Tibbs's game. Coach Comover doesn't listen to nobody except his guys. I think he will. Yeah, he'll listen to his guys. Yeah, Brunson can pass. Absolutely, he can. Right, just a true all-round floor game. Yep, and we've seen it out west as well. Yep, Elf only passed the ball to Randall. Yep, he definitely did. He was drawn to Randall at that point in time. Shout out to the chat, everyone. Rocketeer as well. The Knicks hit their targets in free agency. We have that starting point. The signing was mostly positive around fan base, around the league, around players as well. We signed an up-and-coming center, Isaiah Hartenstein, as well. You see stats there in just 22 minutes in the last 2 months of the season as well. He's got growth, could protect the rim as well. Was a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought they would be okay with Sims backing up. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see with that. Elf got us to the playoffs at point. Brunson will be 10 times better. Yep. Absolutely respect game, LR. Yep. Brunson was been underrated. Absolutely right. I just think he just doesn't look like that prototypical baller, and he's undersized. That's probably one of the reasons he doesn't get the respect he does. But like the dudes out west, the dogs from Phoenix and Memphis, they respect the hell out of him, And these guys are happy when guys get paid as well, when their games get paid as well. He put in work. He deserved that, absolutely. Then we have Mitch signing as well, to finally end that drought of losing guys that are drafted happy for the man, but I'm optimistic he could still improve. But yeah, let's see. We've got center depth now, so it's going to be crazy to think. And of course, summer league, ladies and gents, summer league coming up as well. And I'll take a 1 minute break, and I'll be back. I'll just leave this summer league stuff up here as well. There we have it, ladies and gents, back in action. And yeah, summer league's going to be absolutely lit. I'm happy with this squad they've put together as well. Who is standing out to you for this? To me, I want to see Sims. I think Sims is really got something, something that we can work with. And of course, I want to see Deuce McBride get most of the minutes running the point. Right, talk about an opportunity. A guy that didn't get the kind of opportunity we hoped last season, especially later down the stretch, with us losing games. Playing Alec Burks and all of that. We definitely need to give Deuce McBride his shine this summer league. Right, talking about 5 games, we need to see 30 minutes at least from Deuce on the floor. Maybe he could play a little bit of the 2 as well. Yet New Yorker says Keels can be a smart clone. We might have found gold. Yep, I have a good feeling about Keels as well, fam. Great feel for the game, great passing, secondary playmaking. Can isn't scared to handle the rock. Right, can get downhill, take contact. Well, play with size. Right, it's just a really, really good fit at pick 42. I think we really found something with that. We found something with Keels. So yeah, I'm really high on looking to see what he does as well. Yep, better watch Deuce while we have a chance. Dirty, yep, on point. And of course, LRY says my man, Jean Montero as well. He's the guy, man. He's the guy I'm really looking out for as well. I'm high on everyone else, obviously, but I'm very high on Montero. Yeah, from his pedigree, where he's come from. He's played pro, years overseas. I think he was a victim of the overtime elite program, the doubts scouts had on the competition and all of that stuff, fam. So yeah, look for his game to flash. I think Jean Montero is going to flash, fam. In this, we'll see it. We'll see how confident he looks. He's a scorer off the bounce. He's a pesky on-ball defender as well. Incredible vision, good feel for the game, great passer as well, and an excellent rebounder for his size. Averaged 9 rebounds for the elite in per 36 from a 6'1", 6'2" point guard. And Denick says having Rose healthy and playing in situational minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes a game, will be so much better. Yeah, on point, fam. I was thinking about that the other day, thinking about closing out games, man. Just think about how good it's going to be, knowing that we've got Brunson up our sleeve, but knowing D Rose can be more fresh and more healthy, because that's going to be critical. The fact that he's turning 34 years old, he's 34 now. Now D Rose healthy, ready to put in reps, close out games. Let's not forget about that if he's still here. And Sims and Montero, E. Gibson, yep, absolutely. Lob City, Jericho Sims, he's an absolute Hercules as well. He's put on even more muscle, more weight, more muscle. He could be a rebounding and screen setting demon out there as well. For Montero to get around, him and Deuce get around the screens. The fact that they'll have the ball in their hands a lot, I'll look for Deuce and Montero to be some of our leading scorers as well, is my prediction, mini prediction for Summer League. I feel like they're going to light it up. And of course, Quentin Grimes is going to have a couple of 30-piece as well. I feel like Quentin Grimes can flash his dribble, his shooting, playmaking as well, secondary playmaking. I think, yeah, Quentin Grimes is going to have a big Summer League as well, ladies and gents. And then, yeah, we have some returning favorites. MJ Walker as well. Garrison Brooks. Yeah, a lot of other names. I'm looking forward to just seeing what their games are like. And who's the starting lineup? Good question. The Knicks. I'd go with Deuce. Then I'd go with Keels. Then I'd go with Grimes. Then I maybe go with Brooks, and then Amir Sims, and then Sims. I think maybe Garrison Brooks. The fact that he's new, Amir Sims played last year as well. Let's not forget about Amir Sims. He can stretch the floor as well. That'd be a nice 4-out unit. What do you guys think about that starting lineup? Deuce, Keels, Grimes, Amir Sims, and Jericho Sims. Then you got Garrison Brooks, Sean Montero, MJ Walker off the bench as well, with the other guys that I don't know as much about, but I'm sure some of them will pop. And Dirty says Vince Edwards is a big-time shooter. He could stick in Westchester as well. Okay, yep, appreciate that. What about that other shooter we have? I'm pretty sure there was another lights-out shooter, Quentin Rose, is it? No, he actually got some minutes too. Maybe he's not on Westchester anymore. So, but yeah, we did have a lights-out 3-point shooter. Was it last season? Lex says Deuce, Grimes, Sims. Also want to see Keels and Montero. Yep. Lars, salute. Deuce, Keels, Grimes, Sims, and Sims. Yep. Took the words out of my mouth. Or you might have posted that before I said it. Look, possibly Garrison Brooks if he shows out in practice. Yeah, we need some bench. We need some bench options as well for scoring. Maybe Amir Sims comes off the bench as well. What'll also happen is, and don't put this past them, is to shut some guys down. Let's say Quentin Grimes has a couple 30 pieces in the first 2 games. Yeah, maybe they shut him down, or limit his minutes. Like, what do you guys think about that? Would you be upset with that if Deuce or Grimes balled out and they just shut him down after 3 games or so? Think, maybe they've shown enough. Give some other guys some burn as well. You don't want to risk nothing. I think Montero will stick because he's on a Exhibit 10. Jean Montero is going to want to, ball out and show more what he's got. And Ferron Hunt, ladies and gents, how could I forget about him? Yep. Look for Ferron Hunt to possibly be in the starting lineup as well, from familiarity with Westchester out there. He's a silky, athletic dude, man. I watched some highlights. 6'8". He moves like Cam Reddish, but with more athleticism, I think, from what I've seen. Yeah, we really have a deep team. New York, not as deep as Detroit, San Antonio. San Antonio got a crazy summer league lineup. They got Sohan. They got Malachi Branham. They got Josh Primo. They got heaps of players out there for San Antonio. But yeah, it'd be nice if we could go further out, see if we can win this thing. Yeah, Ferron Hunt should start, says Dirty. Since he's our 2-way. Yep, 2-way, and of course Jericho Sims is looking to be converted as well. So look for that 2-way spot to possibly go to John Montero. Possibly, the second 2-way spot if Jericho Sims gets converted. Because I think we're at about 12 roster spots right now. So we do need to, if we don't sign some more veterans or a trade, we do need to sign some more guys to the regular roster. If Grimes can stay healthy, he could be our little Clay. Absolutely, right? Maybe become a big Clay. I think he's got confidence, man. He was a 5-star recruit. Kansas, faced some hurdles in college. But yeah, he's got a lot more upside than people think, does Quentin Grimes. And Ryan Arcidiacono, the Public Enemy, salute. I think he skipped out of here. He was on a veteran. He was on a real roster spot, a veteran roster spot last season that expired, and they just haven't brought him back. Yeah, I think they were supposed to renounce his rights, says Lex. Well, yep. Get out of summer league, no injuries is a must as well. Yep, good thinking. Not too worried about it, but yeah, I think that's why I said with shutting dudes down again, play 2-3 games, get some great reps in, and then we're ready to roll. Absolutely ready to roll. July 8th, ladies and gentlemen, next Friday, it's lit versus Golden State. So that's going to be real nice going up against them. Then we got Chicago as well going up against them, Portland, Orlando, and then that additional game that's going to be announced later as well. Yep, it is rumored that Jericho's contract will be converted. JJP, it hasn't happened yet so far. They haven't announced that yet. But look, with the moratorium period and all of that stuff, maybe maybe they've done it behind the scenes and they'll announce it soon. Maybe they'll announce it, fam, coming up. I feel like so. Yeah, that is a situation that bears watching, ladies and gents. I think it's a no-brainer. They have to do it. Yeah, they have to do that. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, says New Yorker. And part of my thinking when Hartenstein was announced, I'm like, well, what has Jericho got to be thinking? I think he showed some stuff. He showed some stuff, and he's got to be feeling like he deserves a roster rotation spot. But let's see. That's why they have summer league, and they do all of this to make stuff happen. But yeah, we re-signed Mitch. We've got a solid starting rotation, solid center rotation now with Isaiah Hartenstein. There you see some stats. In 22 minutes, he put up 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists from a center in just 22 minutes. So yeah, I think this was an upside signing, an upside swing. They're confident that his game's going to continue to grow, and that they could really, really turn him into something, and then you could really do some stuff. I feel you could really, really do some stuff with that. Yep. And like New Yorker says, he's a great passer. Yep. Yeah, like Obi too. Sees the open man, makes the right read. He's got great length, 7 feet tall, and not quite a stretch 5 as yet. People say he can stretch the floor, but on very low volume, 50% from 3 on 1.1 attempts. But look, the fact is he's got a solid motion. You could become a stretch 5 easily. If he continues to work on it, work on the mid range as well. Just a center that can pull someone out. That's what we need. Isaiah fits the timeline too, like Gibson says. With the young guys as well, 22 years of age, he could absolutely do that. And like Nick's asked, going back to some of the topics of free agency moves that are still going to play out, look for Taj Gibson to get waived, fam, as well. Taj Gibson's $5 million is unguaranteed, and it's definitely going to be waived. That doesn't mean Taj won't be back. Just they'll waive that contract. They maybe renegotiate another one as well. But yeah, look for Taj to stay in the locker room, right? As long as D Rose and Tom Thibodeau is here, Taj Gibson's here. He's not going nowhere as well. But maybe look for this to be his last season. Maybe look for him to retire midway through the season and maybe join the coaching staff. I wouldn't put it past that as well. And like Lex says, Sims's contract, wonder if it depends on waiving Taj and the Hartenstein signing as well. Yep. Yeah, possibly. The thing is, we still have his rights. We could give him the minimum. We could give him a regular roster spot, but it could still just be a minimum, fam, which is good as well. We don't need to stretch the salary cap too much for Sims, I don't feel. But yeah, he's going to be a hot commodity if he hits unrestricted free agency or restricted free agency after this season. If he has a great season, Jericho Sims he'll be a wanted man. Dirty says, I think Taj and Sims split the room exception as well. Yep, that's a great observation. The room exception's only about 5 point something mil. So you split that, you give Taj 2 point something, and you give Sims that. as well. Yep, I could definitely see that, fam. Although I do think the veteran minimum salary's gone up to 3. It's the veterans minimums contract's gone up to about 3 point something mil now. So Taj might even be able to get more just taking the veteran minimum and giving Sims the whole room exception. And yeah, I like the fact that they're going to push each other too. They're going to push each other to get better. And it looks like we have a solid center rotation as well, and more than a solid point guard rotation. If you look at the log jam with Jalen Brunson in tow now, Derrick Rose possibly healthy, hopefully, coming in, Deuce McBride having a big summer league, quickly looking to capitalize on his finish at the end of last season, John Montero around, let's say he has a great summer league as well. There's got to be some moves. Deuce McBride, there's got to be some moves happen to open this thing up. Trevor Keels can handle the rock as well as a secondary playmaker as well. I want to give RJ as many on-ball touches as possible too. When you think about it, RJ's growth is a priority for this team. He absolutely needs to be prioritized as RJ in terms of touches as well. If you're paying a guy that much, you need to give him his touches. So yeah, look for, in terms of what's going to play out next, over the next coming days, look out for these bombs to hit. The Brunson deal, we need it to be finalized. That'll tell us the structure of the deal as well. Sign and trade's not dead with Dallas. They're going to want something for Brunson rather than lose him for nothing. Now, it doesn't really favor the Knicks too much unless they have a reason to clear up the money, right? If they want the salary space to get a Mitchell, to trade for other people as well, TJ Warren, other things, maybe they do explore this sign and trade situation and get Evans' money off the books. There's 2 more years guaranteed. So what do you guys think? Is now the best time to use this opportunity to get Evans' money off scot-free? Maybe you can't get his money off the books scot-free later. So a sign and trade with Dallas still might be the best thing. So it depends on what's out there. Like I put third point, the Mitchell buzz. It depends on what's going to happen with that sign and trade. Do we have a reason to need to give away Evan Fournier for that salary? If there's no reason, then keep Evan. If there's no reason, and then waiving Taj, that'll save another $5 million. Is there any remaining cap space? Question mark. That's going to remain a question as to until we know what the Brunson deal looks like. Is it ascending to be able to save more money now, or is it a descending contract so that we save more money later and we have no space available? And then the Knicks will have that exception to use. Maybe we give some of that to Sims. We give some back to Taj, like the chat said, like Dirty said. And then some vet minimums, Carmelo Anthony, other veterans out there. Maybe a Dwight Howard, Serge Ibaka. I'm not sure who else is out there. Might take a veterans minimum, and then we start to think about what's going to come with the big 2 re-signings to come, RJ and Cam. As well, I would see RJ's extension dragging into the preseason a bit, possibly, and then Cam's extension to move into further into the season. Of course, we need to see Cam ball out. We need to see him play some more. Well, flush that potential. So where would you guys say is the weakest spot in our roster? I would still say it's the wing spot right now. You got dudes that can play power forward. 2 of our most promising players on the team are power forwards. Our center rotation set now. Shooting guard, maybe you could say, in terms of bona fide shooting guard, and then of course small forward, like New Yorker just says as well. No Howard, don't blame you. We have 3 centers already. Rod, salute. If Fournier is still here, he's definitely going to be starting. That has me, I'll be okay with it. But about halfway through the season, if they've made the decision Fournier's not the future, then I'd be okay with sending him to the bench, Rod. I think defensively we need to get more athletic. We do. We need to get tougher defensively. I love Fournier's shooting as well, but yeah, if he's still here post the deadline, I'd love to see what Grimes is looking like, and Cam, and then moving Fournier to the bench, to be that 6-man guy. And Denix, who would you rather go after, Donovan or OG? If we go for Donovan, we'll have a small backcourt, but going for OG, we'll have one of the best 3-and-D small forwards to take on the other team's best players as well. Yep. Yeah, look, OG fits this team, definitely. But in terms of star potential, I know they're going to prefer Donovan. They're going to prefer Donovan long-term because this roster is not built to contend. OG's a nice piece. I agree. He fits. I just don't know where that gets us in terms of, who's going to be next after that. Who's going to be next? Is Julius the one out the door? For an upgrade, I mean, we need to continue to upgrade each spot. But yeah, I love OG Anunoby's fit out there. The length, the defensive versatility, him and RJ swapping. And obviously, yeah, Cam Reddish is a big part of this thing as well. And speaking of Cam Reddish, as part of that trade, Kevin Knox, we sent Kevin Knox out. He's still in the league. He got re-signed, or he signed a deal, did Kevin Knox. It wasn't with Atlanta. I think Kevin Knox signed a deal with Detroit as well. So Detroit keep taking the New York Knicks pieces as well. So salute to Kev for getting that contract. But yeah, all about us, like D Cool says, small forward, shooting guard are the weaker spots in this roster right now. Jalen Brunson, Rose, Quickly, Deuce, Montero, we got Rokas possibly in tow. We got point guards right now. We're good, no superstar point guard, but we got point guard sorted, with the starting point guard and the money that we're spending. So yeah, in terms of small forward shooting guard, I love more size. And yeah, that's where the OG thing comes in. Keldon Johnson, Almighty Finesse suggests as well. Let's keep an eye out on what wings become available. Yeah, what do you guys think about TJ Warren? As well, TJ Warren is a guy I've always loved. He hasn't been able to stay healthy recently, but he's more of a he's more of a higher achieved Cam Reddish. Basically, is what Cam Reddish has more potential, of course, but in terms of what we need in Tom Thibodeau and a veteran roster, then TJ Warren is a guy that could help us get back to the playoffs. Power forwards is dirty because Tibbs can't discipline Randall as well. Look, it's amazing how that roster spot could become thin in the blink of an eye. If Randall goes, then it's just Obi, Taj. I don't know if Hartenstein can play the 5. He's pretty tall. I mean the 4, sorry. I don't know if Hartenstein can play the 4. I don't know if he's mobile enough. But yeah, Melo could be a dude with good value. I think Melo is definitely he's definitely a 4 now. Fam, everybody. Carmelo Anthony can't keep up with threes right now, but as a 4, he definitely can do some stuff. I think in limited minutes as well. Yeah, you agree, E, as well. Small forward, having that versatility, athletic scoring option as well. Yep, a Paul George type. Although he plays the 4 a lot more now. A Middleton kind of guy, a guy that can rise up in the mid-range, score, can defend, all of that. Yeah, I'm not sure what the situation is with Keldon Johnson, but yeah, with the Spurs trying to open things up, fam, let's see. If we get OG, we keep Julius, but if we go after Donovan, let's get rid of Julius. Yep. Yeah, I think so too, fam. I think we need to clear that salary if we do go for Donovan, and he would have to be in that package, right? The Utah Jazz are going to want some established piece at least, and Julius is only 27, 28 years old. So he could actually be around for their rebuild as well. That's a unique situation. That's why I feel like Julius can definitely get his value back up. He could definitely get his value back up. He's not a over 30 kind of player. If you think about it, everyone, like, Julius has years left in the league in his prime. He's banging his prime. And trade for Kuminga, he's cheaper than OG with the same upside as well. Yep, Kuminga, I'm not sure what it'd look like with a Warriors trade. They're tough to deal with, fam. But yeah, the limited upside with him and size too, fam. And I know TJ Warren from Almighty. Yeah, he's a walking mash unit at the moment. We have 3 shooting guards, RJ, Grimes, and IQ. We need the small forward with length and D potential like OG. Yeah, look, quickly with the point guard situation, he's going to have to play some minutes at the backup 1 and some minutes at the 2 to get enough minutes. RJ and Grimes, yeah, to me, I have Grimes as a more prototypical shooting guard. I think RJ Barrett definitely, is a 2 and 3. But in on this current roster, we need defensive perimeter help. I think RJ's definitely still got to play some minutes at the 3. A backcourt of Brunson and Keldon is better than Brunson and Fournier. Yeah, hands down as well. But yeah, I like where you're thinking in terms of the D. We need to get back to locking dudes down. For every point Evan Fournier can score, in this league now, how athletic things are, I just don't know, fam. What's going to happen with Fournier's future up in this thing, right? This could be the key point where Fournier's value is actually the highest as well when you think about it. An injury away, maybe his shooting even regresses. Who knows? Right now could be the peak of Fournier's value. So, but I said I like Fournier and his offense. It's just about getting better defensively. Like, how can we get better defensively? If we look at the holes on this roster, right? Like I said, we got the 1 and the 2 pretty sorted, the 4 and the 5. That 3 spot, is that a situation where Cam Reddish, man, does he put his stamp on this team and get things done? Does Cam Reddish, right? He's got a huge season ahead, for his future, his summer. He needs to be really, really, hope he's excited, but also focused on this thing. Because, yeah, that trade could seriously come out to be one of the biggest steals. Talk about that wing we need, 6'8" with length. He has 6'11" wingspan or something. He has handles as well. He's not afraid to take it to the cup. It's the consistency we need. Stay healthy, shoot the ball well when given the opportunity to shoot. Cam Reddish can knock down the corner threes, shoot a bit off the catch, get to the cup, get fouled. Just work his way into the rotation and work his trust as well. Salute Darren and Danny. Salute up in here. Appreciate it. I want the Knicks to bring Melo back. Would you include RJ in a trade for Donovan as well? Great question, Danny. Yep, I'd bring Melo back for the right role. If he's okay off the bench, he's okay playing the 4 spot as well. Sign me up as well. I know it's only 1 year. Another locker room guy, and I know he doesn't fit the long-term youth movement of this team, which is why I'd be okay with a 1 year only. It looks like they're giving Tom Thibodeau 1 more year to really push for the playoffs. Brunson signing, Randall's still here, Fournier's still here. James Dolan wants that money again. They want to make the playoffs. So yeah, look for that to be a possibility. Would I include RJ in the trade for Donovan? I'm going to say no. I know you got to give up stuff to get Donovan. To me, I just, I think there's going to be better options available. If we can't get a deal done for Donovan, I think we just stay pat for me. But what do you guys do? What would you do, Danny? So what were you sold on RJ? Would you throw him out there in that Donovan trade as well? I think they're rebuilding. I think they're definitely going to ask for RJ's name, but I still think we could put together a package without RJ. But it would definitely include Quickly, would include Obi, it'd probably include Cam, Grimes or Deuce, and picks as well, and future picks as well. Almighty also says no, don't include the trade, don't include RJ in the trade for Donovan. Yep, agrees. Rod says, do you think there's any chance Reddish starts opening night? Would be a great sign if he does. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would signalize he's had a huge summer, Rod, preseason as well. With this roster pretty full right now, look for Cam to get a lot of minutes in preseason. Hopefully, the last few preseason games, they're going to give him that chance to see his game, where it's at, how healthy he is, and all of that stuff. But yeah, I would say there's a chance. I would say maybe there's a 40% chance. Yep, Cam could start opening night. Again, it's dependent on Fournier sign and trade situation as well. Like I said, the dominoes to fall as you see in order there. We need to know the structure of the Brunson deal first, and then that'll tell us whether or not we're going to entertain a sign and trade with Dallas. Then we need to see what else is out there with that money, whether or not we need to do the sign and trade as well. With that said, Darren says we need to give Grimes, Reddish some run. I'm still skeptical over the fact now we have 3 centers on the roster as well. Yeah, trade chips too, Darren. I say, Hartenstein, Jericho Sims, those guys, don't underestimate the fact that they could be used in a trade as well. So you signed Hartenstein, you signed him to free cap space, basically. So we're not giving up nothing. We're getting an asset, and we're not giving away nothing to get him. So that'll help us in bigger deals as well. When you're talking about put together blockbuster deals, a guy like Hartenstein and Sims could be a nice throw in, in a bigger deal as well. So yeah, it's tough to evaluate the smaller moves. They might just be leading up to bigger things as well, which is hard to get your head around right now at times. Paul says IQ is an inefficient shooter also. He has to play point mostly. He has to get his touches off the bench. I think Quickly's shot selection is critical, Paul. If he does play the 2, a lot of catch and shoot situation. I think IQ is really efficient catching and shooting rather than off the dribble. If IQ shoots off the dribble, it's usually those huge heaves from the logo or shot clock running down kind of thing as well. And a shout out and Drizzy, peace, salute everyone out here rocking New York Knicks free agency. It's been going well so far as well, but something just feels a bit missing. We're waiting on the next splash. What is the next thing? Are they going to be patient? Are they going to be too patient for you? What are you good with? Are you good with waiting to use these picks for the right thing? I think they're seeing some things around the league, and they're waiting for things to play out. And they're also cognizant of what's happened in Brooklyn. What Minnesota gave up, what Atlanta gave up, unprotected picks, all of that stuff. I think they're hesitant. And a part of me thinks they're good with their roster. In their mind, I think they feel comfortable going into the season with this current roster and banking on improvement from within, banking on Julius to improve. You can't get any worse. Fournier, the consistency of him being around for 1 year, the upside of Quickly and Obi growing, Grimes growing, Cam here, Brunson and what he brings, RJ Barrett's rise. Perhaps part of them is thinking, okay, let's just go into the season and let's see let's see how it shakes out, in the beginning. And if we trade for Keldon, we're going to be very young. He's only 22 yet. Let me know. Is he in talks? Is San Antonio open to getting rid of him as well? But yeah, we have a lot of multiple position players. Tibbs just got to get creative, but that's not his strong suit. Yeah, it's not. Absolutely not. In fact, he didn't want to play Randall and Obi together. Like, think about that. We had a crazy logjam at the power forward spot, and he didn't even want to play Obi or Quickly together. So Obi and Randall, I mean, together, right? Even if Obi needed minutes. So that's something I'm looking out for, but I'm not betting on it, with Mitchell and Hartenstein and also Sims. I mean, the likeliness of a Randall and Sims and a Randall and Obi playing together are very, very slim for me. And is Rose going to impede our young guys? Yep. The answer is yes. New Yorker, yep. Hand on my heart, I don't hold back. The answer is yes. Rose is going to impede the young guys, Now Rose deserves to play. He's a former MVP, great player, but yeah, that's a huge question mark. And I want this to be, with all due respect to Rose, I want this to be his last year in New York. Even if it's now the trade deadline after the season, I want this to be his last year in New York. Because again, you got the contract, you got his health is an issue, his age, and also he's got some value still. So maybe we need to look at see what we can get for D Rose. Because again, you got Brunson, Deuce, McBride, Quickly, John Montero, Rokas. The time is to start looking ahead for the future, right? D Rose ain't part of the future. And I salute JJ. What's good? And Drizzy says, yep, would I trade for Durant? Love that he's a hooper, and I'm sure all New York fans would love that. Well, Kevin Durant, absolutely epitome of the hooper fam as well. I'd set this one out though, like I think the front office is doing. I think they're sitting this one out. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it. If he said, I really, really want to go to New York Knicks, then I'd be more open to it. But he said, I don't want to go to the Knicks. He said, I want to go to Phoenix. He wants to go to possibly Miami as well. So Phoenix, Miami, and Toronto are KD's top targets. I think look for him to end up in Phoenix, I feel. And Melo didn't mentor KP too good. I pass on that. Yeah, I think Melo was in a different stage of his career. In his mind, he still thought he was the guy. I think Melo coming back now, I think it'd be a different situation. But I do see a point about the locker room was pretty bad back then. Rose is a team baller. He'd help the young guys as well. Yeah, he's a good mentor. Yep, absolutely as well. I just feel like the time's ticking with D Rose with the Knicks. Let him try to win a chip, somewhere, so that he can sail off into the sunset and finish his career, decorated career with the Knicks, in the NBA, in the Knicks, and with a champion. Brunson and Mitchell starting in our backcourt as both being 6'1" would really hurt our defensive length big time. Not ideal. Yeah, that's another issue too. Yeah, if you watch the Western Conference playoffs, I know Donovan Mitchell's that name, that sexy name, but he's certainly not coming in here to play D. He's brought in for a star power, for his scoring, getting to the cup, bringing attention away from the D. But it'd be a pretty small backcourt, that's for sure, like JJ said as well. And Hartenstein and Brunson are very efficient too. We need efficiency. I like how you said that too. Efficiency, shot selection as well. I'm looking for this coaching staff to get everyone in right positions as well. And Hartenstein's good with the putbacks too. Sims, Mitchell, Mitch Robb, putback city, baby. As well. And his hands, he hasn't got stone hands like Nerlens Noel. Hartenstein's got good hands. Again, he passes well. He can shoot. He's got a stroke. And he can dump it. You can dump it down to him as well. He's going to finish it. He's 7 feet and good size, good mobility. If Melo comes, you have to have Randall. Well, yep. Yeah. I think the Melo thing would be at 50-50 if we're more all in. Otherwise, we're not all in. Maybe Melo prefers another contender. And look, let's not underestimate the fact that if Kyrie Irving ends up a Laker with Bron, then Melo's got to stay. Melo's going to stay in LA for another hurrah. I think a final hurrah with Kyrie and Bron. Yep, backcourt of Brunson and Keldon. Yep. If Brunson is the long-term one, we need that length next to him as well. Yep. Yep. Some more talk about D Rose as well. And IQ has to play with Obi because, yeah, they got the chemistry, New Yorker. Facts. Yep. They got chemistry. So, yeah, when one of them moves into the starting lineup, is it time to move both? If IQ ends up playing the point or the one or the two, well, which is not likely now with Brunson here as well. So, yeah, maybe for another year or two, maybe IQ is stuck to the bench again with Obi. If Randall is here, what are your thoughts on that? That's going to delay their growth, no doubt about it. Yep. Brunson 6'1", Mitchell 6'3". Not ideal backcourt. Yeah, 6'3" in shoes. Well, yep. It's like when we got lit up like Kemba Walker. Yep. Like with Kemba and Evan last year as well. Yep. Size is the main reason I'd pass on Mitchell, and we'd have to give up way too much. Yep. That's why I say in the title here, you see patience, right? This front office ain't in a rush right now. They're building, they're moving this franchise forward. And I think when Mitchell's deal elapses a lot more, we'll find out if he really wants to be in New York, right? No doubts about it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to find out if will Donovan Mitchell put his money where his mouth is, and become a New York Knick. Because Jalen Brunson made it known, he wanted to be a New York Knick. So, yeah, in terms of giving things away, we need to wait for more leverage. Right now, Danny Ainge, the Utah Jazz, man, they got leverage for days. Wait, look at what the hell they got for Rudy Gobert, ladies and gentlemen. 5 picks, I think 4 unprotected picks for a Rudy Gobert, a dude that can't dribble the basketball. So I know what else he does, no disrespect. He's a demon on the defensive end. But 5 unprotected picks, man, I can't wait to see what that Woj bomb's going to look like when KD gets traded, when if Donovan gets traded, what that kind of deal is going to look like, man. Pat Riley might just say, hey, this is my all-in. Here's 7 first-round picks, and then I'll retire. You know how badly Pat Riley wants to win while he's still working. That's going to be crazy to look out for as well. Charles Salute says Mitchell wishes he was 6'3". Yeah, some of these measurements are pretty whack. It's hard to tell at times, especially with the shoes, without shoes, all of that stuff. Have they got the fro to make them look taller? All of that stuff. Yeah, you wait till a real title window. That's not now. Yep, facts, dirty. Just keep building as a franchise, right? Put yourself in a nice position to say, hey, when the next star wants out, that situation looks pretty sexy. Like what Brooklyn was doing, right? Have a nice, cool young coach, growing young roster, on the fringes of the playoffs, or, a dude ascending to becoming the next all-star. And then a dude's going to say, hey, I want to go to the New York Knicks. But in terms of that said, we are saving these picks for something, ladies and gentlemen. We have 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. Well, something has got to give with that. We're not making all those picks, ladies and gentlemen. We're not making all those picks. We know that. The whole league knows that. So at the end of the day, we're losing some leverage, truth be told, right? The closer we get to these picks, we know, everybody knows the Knicks got them. I mean, OKC, there's talk that they're not waiting for that big splash. They're just continuing to use their picks to have a dude, hit on a dude in the draft. That's their MO, is OKC. We know Miami's MO is to go all in. So they're going to throw picks and players. They've got Tyler Hero. They've got picks that they can give Utah. To me personally, I don't think their package is any better than ours. The New York Knicks could absolutely beat Miami's package. Talking about Tyler Hero and picks. Well, we have more picks to give, and for Utah, they know that the Knicks are more likely to be bad. Those picks are going to be more worthwhile taking New York Knicks picks as well. And in terms of players, Cam Reddish, Obi quickly. I mean, I think Tyler Hero is a bit overrated for me personally. I don't get why, the league puts down our players, but they think Tyler Hero, could be a center of a blockbuster package. Like, I know he's six man, but yeah, he's six man. Like he's not a starting, all-star piece right now. I mean, we could definitely match a package as well. Yeah, I did want to see him out of here, but when I see what the pace has got for Sabonis, he's not that much better than Julius. Yeah, we got to repair Randall's value. Absolutely, definitely. And KD can't go to Miami because the CBA with Simmons' contract and Bam's contract, so it can't be traded. Well, that's going to be interesting. They're going to find a way. But if I was a betting man, I'd bet on Phoenix. I think Phoenix can get it done. I mean, talk about Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, DeAndre Ayton sign and trade, future picks as well. I know they're trying to get Devin Booker out of there, but like that just make no sense to me. If you're Phoenix, why the hell would you trade Devin Booker for KD? Devin Booker's younger, and it's the same kind of move, right? It's not gonna get you closer to a title. What having KD together with an aging CP3, like nah, that's not worth it for Phoenix. What do you guys think about that? And Mitchell, look, yeah, he does have his own inefficiency issues as well. It'd be star power. It'd be a trade because of a star name as well. David says there's also a rumor KD might want to play in Philly. And are they going to kick Harden to the curb? Man, that could be a sneaky dark horse option, because I heard that Joel Embiid told the front office to say, hey, get me help. Like, I'm aging, man. My knees might not hold up. My feet may not hold up forever, right? You got me James Harden, right? Go all in as well. Paul says Mitchell going to the Heat as well. That is one of his preferences, I feel as well. It's all about how patient this front office is going to be. Would you guys be okay giving up 5 unprotected firsts? Let me ask you guys. That's just what Rudy Gobert demanded. We don't even know what Donovan Mitchell's going to demand from Danny Ainge. That's why I said you play the percentages. You wait until leverage is in your side. See, Donovan got 2-3 years left, right? Then he's unrestricted. So I know sometimes you got to go all in, but is now the right time? Is Mitchell the right dude? I wouldn't be mad at it, but man, it would be a hell of a trade, a hell of a all in, for the New York Knicks. And I would hope that we would retain some of our young talent at least. I hope it would be Julius, a couple of young pieces, not all of them, and then the rest picks as well. We got to keep some youth. We got to keep some youth around in case. I miss your favorite player, the one and only Michael Beasley. Yep. He was a straight walking bucket as well. Yeah, I liken him to Cam Reddish as well. Potential for days, and Drizzy. Cam Reddish has Michael Beasley potential for days, but Michael Beasley never achieved that potential as well. But even at 30 years age, he could light you up, look like the best player on the court. Yeah, he does have the arm length of a 7-footer. His wingspan 6'10". Yeah, that's how he got the nickname Spider as well. Yep. James Lee, salute. What would be the reason Barrett extension is getting delayed? Are we extending him next year? A great question. In terms of what would be the reasons, I don't think play. I think whether they've decided to pay Barrett or not is already a decision they've made. So it's just about the numbers. It's just negotiation. Maybe Barrett's side feels like, hey, we could squeeze every last dollar, every amount, and let's go into the season. Let's start playing well. Let's start showing the Knicks that, hey, here I am. I want the full 192. I'm worth every dollar. I put New York on my back. I'm the future of the franchise, all of that. So yeah, I think the decision's been made. Both sides know it's going to happen, James. I think it's back and forth over the amount as well. What's suitable? Because again, in negotiation, as the Knicks side, you never just say, "Hey, here's 192 to Barrett." You just don't say that right now. You start with a number, they counter offer with a number, then you say, "Let me think about it." But you try to keep the situation cordial because obviously you don't want to peeve nobody off. You don't want to lowball, but no doubt Leon Rose knows all about all this. He's been with players that he's represented that have been extended. I feel like these guys are going to get it done as well. I just feel like it's going to drag into the preseason. It may not happen straight away this free agency as well, but it wouldn't shock me because we've seen Darius Garland get extended the other day. That could put even more pressure on the front office as well. And like Drizzy says, yeah, Hero is overrated because his team is winning. Sadly, once the Knicks start winning, our players will get overrated as well. Yeah, right now we're the ones doing the overrating for some of our players, and yeah, the league just shunning us sometimes. But yeah, the league does underrate some Knicks as well. I think some of it's our own boneheaded moves. If Obi was playing 38 minutes, Obi Toppin's value would be higher. If Cam Reddish was playing 30 minutes, his value would be higher. Truth be told, the league can only see glimpses of what our young talent can actually do because they're not getting enough minutes. Basically, fam. The Knicks can't wait for an unhappy star. Most are scared of New York. Knicks developmental team better get cracking. Yeah, they better get cracking. Absolutely, right? Prioritize the development because, yeah, once some of these young players start to pop, maybe one young player becomes an all-star like RJ Barrett, then you're really going to have some unrestricted free agent talent want to re-sign. But in going back as to how special this Brunson thing was, I want to paint a picture. I want to use the example of a Zach LaVine, ladies and gentlemen. I thought other teams, including the Knicks, would at least have a shot at Zach LaVine. But no, the fact is he just took the bag. He re-signed all 5 years, did Zach LaVine, right? Signing up to mediocrity with Chicago. And the point I'll make is that extra deal, that extra 5th year, it's hard to get any player loose. It's hard to shake loose now from any team with that 5th year. And that's why this thing was special because Jalen Brunson gave up the 5th year to be a Knick, right? There's incentives, there's family connections and all that. But Jalen Brunson gave up a Western Conference team to be the Robin, to come over to the New York City and maybe be Batman's Gotham, maybe be Gotham's Batman over here. So yeah, it's going to be interesting with the dynamic with Julius, with Brunson now, foregoing the 5th year. What does that mean in terms of the role now? Dudes want to come to New York. It's expensive. It's state taxes. So you better come here for other reasons. You want that shine. You want to be that man in New York City, right? The ones the fans chant your name and all of that. The Knicks says Donovan gone to Miami for Lowry, Hero, and picks. KD and Kyrie gone to LA, AD and Westbrook, and picks. Knicks have to go after OG at all costs as well. Hey, it'd be interesting, man, if AD is included. But yeah, I've only heard it's Kyrie for Westbrook and picks so far as well. But yeah, could they get really, really itchy and throw in an injury-prone aging AD in that deal? Maybe. I don't think Brooklyn has that kind of leverage. I don't think Kyrie has a huge market. Now, certainly for KD, there's more leverage, I feel. Brunson schooled Mitchell in the playoffs as well. Yeah, Brunson got some nice bag of tricks. Fam, he got some moves in his bag. KD can't go to Phoenix because the CBA with Simmons contract and Devin Booker. I think I haven't heard much of that talk, but I just heard Phoenix is his preferred option. So I assumed it was possible. Fam, let's wait and see. JJ says, I don't think Mitchell is the guy to give up the farm for. I may sound crazy, but it's just my opinion. He's more of a number 2 or a 3 on a title team. No, you're not crazy at all, fam. I love everyone's opinion on this. And again, we're not saying Mitchell's not a good player. We're not saying he's a star. We're not saying any of that. Like you said, it's about fit. Is he a good defensive player? No. Okay, so if he's on a championship team, what does that team need to look like? You need defenders. You need dudes that can also complement his game. Dudes that can score. All of that, right? If we gut our roster for Mitchell, what's that going to look like? That's why I said I'd go all in on Mitchell if it was predominantly for picks, right? I wouldn't want to give up Obi, Quickly, Grimes, all these young players. I know you would probably need to, but again, it's like all in. Let's say you reach 4th or 3rd in the East and you never get to that Eastern Conference Finals or NBA Finals. Again, you've got egg on your face as well. So, hey, it's interesting, fam. Again, the New York Knicks are calculated. They're being patient, but how patient will they be? These picks that they've accumulated, they're not going to die wondering one day. These picks are going to have to be used, right? I think Leon's just trying to wait for the right deal. Truth be told, if the Mitchell is the last resort, I think they'll do it. But I do think they're waiting for the right deal to happen. And then, they're going to feel a lot more safer about it as well. They're going to feel a lot better as well. I appreciate you, James Lee. Yep, let's get it as well. Yep, it's great to see Kiwi is a Knicks fan from Australia. Yep. Yeah, this thing's worldwide. Absolutely. Best team, best fan base as well. Most valued franchise because of us, basically, and the Mecca. Dirty says we need Brock Aller to show our plan to RJ on why he should take a little less. You hit with that one. Salute, you hit as well. Yep, it's all about the plan. Does he want to be on a winning franchise or not? Yeah, a little less as well. No disrespect, but a little less as well. Let's see what RJ's made of as well. But I don't hate him if he takes the whole bag. I wouldn't hate it. And absolutely, the streets are buzzing. Travis, free agency is buzzing. The Garden is going to be buzzing next season. Absolutely. Full arena, point guard in tow. Mitch got the bag. Backup centers now. We got point guard youngsters on the roster. Deuce, I'm high on Montero. Let's see what happens with Rocas as well. And I expect Quickly, the safest bet I have is I expect Quickly and Obi to get better next season. They've been working out with each other all summer long, right? If you guys had to bank on one player or two players on this roster, turning the next page next season, who would you put it at? Who is your sneaky, or not sneaky, but who is your safest bet of a player to shine next season, right? And Drizzy says, I'm comfortable with 165 for RJ. That sounds pretty fair, if I'm being honest. I know sometimes you just got to pay him the full max. But yeah, that's pretty fair. You certainly shouldn't get the same amount as Garland based on play. Now, based on play, I mean. He's deserving it in terms of leadership and future potential and what he's got coming. Absolutely. JJ says, how do you think RJ feels seeing all the guys near him from his draft getting maxed out? Talking about Zion, talking about Garland, everybody, knowing he's not on those guys' levels. Got to be frustrating. Hopefully fuels him to be better. Yeah, great point, JJ. Absolutely. I feel like RJ's good with himself. He's confident. And I feel like he knows what's coming, right? He knows, everyone's journey is a bit different. He was touted as the best prospect. Then he fell to 3. He had to deal with that within himself, knowing he was the best prospect coming in. And then he fell to 3. Ja Morant, of course, got the bag as well. But you're right. Yep. I think it will fuel him. I think it's got to. Yeah, he's got to come in, and he knows. I think he's gonna be featured a lot more. I think last season was a transition to RJ taking over, late in the games. I think RJ could be one of our closers in the team. So I definitely prefer him closing over Randall. Now we got Brunson as well, so we got more isolation dudes that have had more reps. Remember remember RJ had the game buzzer beater winner against Boston. So yeah, let's go. I think RJ's got the shackles off. He's signed he's got his buzzer beater and he's ready for his extension. Well, do we know if it's a sign and trade yet? How would that benefit us? Great point. Great question, Travis, as well. We don't yet know. So we don't yet know of the structure because the contracts won't be signed until another 2-3 days. How would it benefit us? It would only benefit us if we wanted to clear up more money, I feel, because the only talk I'm hearing is that Evan Fournier would be a name to watch out for in a sign and trade. Now, for us to just lose Evan Fournier for nothing, basically, would be a salary move, a salary motivated dump. So yeah, that's the only way it would benefit us to clear up more money. Let's say if someone else became available as well. So yeah, keep an eye out on these moves to come next. Like Andrizzi says, also I feel like when Tibbs stops coaching the Knicks, we'll see more talent from our young guys. Tibbs wants guys to play certain roles, such as Mitch, but can't wait for the next coach, to be honest. As well, yeah, me too. Yep, I know Tom Thibodeau can coach. He's got that experience, but yeah, his timeline, fam, is to try to win now. And we don't have a roster close to that. I feel like we're forcing a square peg in a round hole, basically. Now the Brunson move didn't compromise our future in a way because he's 25, he's ascending. The contract's going to look better in 2 years' time anyway. So yeah, Brunson doesn't hurt us, but we're trying to force it right now. I feel like unless we go all in. Now I mean all in. On a Mitchell, a KD, Kyrie, a player that moves the needle, basically, absolutely moves the needle. Funny how the inclusion of Brunson raises the bar for everyone as well, says Johnny. Great point, fam, as well, on point. It does raise the bar, right? You're instantly playing with a dude that was Western Conference finalist, starting point. Yeah, a Robin to Luka's Batman as well. So yeah, Reese Rolex. If we keep him, Fournier has to come off the bench. Yep, on point with that too. Absolutely, I think so. He could light it up. His shooting still needed, but he's not a long-term part of the future of the New York Knicks. We need to be more athletic. Defensively, we need to get better as well. I'm not throwing shade at Fournier's game. He can score with the best of them. He's still got worth in the league, but we need to get better defensively, especially with Jalen Brunson now as the starting point. I can't stress that enough. We need to be better defensively. So yeah, really look out for that possibility of the sign and trade with Dallas in terms of clearing up that money. And I said earlier in the show, we may not get another opportunity to get out of Fournier's money scot-free. Basically, Dallas could absorb Fournier's money in the sign and trade with Brunson, and we wouldn't need to give up anything. Knicks and Leon can't afford not to entertain any and all trade scenarios, says Magnum. Yep, on point. Magnum, yep. They definitely need to consider everything, right? And I think they are. They're active from all reports. They're calling the league. They're just better at not letting things leak out. I think, yeah, this front office is moving in the shadows, fam. Travis says, I think Randall bounces back with Brunson, and if he doesn't, then see ya. Yep. Yeah, I like that too. Randall will be back, probably opening night, all the way till the deadline. It's going to be fascinating to see where we are in the standings, see what the chemistry looks like, see what strings Tom Thibodeau's pulling, and also see what Randall's game looks like. Has he come in shape, focused? Is he ready to willing to be more off ball? Give Brunson those touches. All of that stuff is going to key in, man. Randall knows what's coming, right? He knows he's coming into another storm. right? There'll be thumbs down. There'll be the garden jeers, all of that stuff, right? All over again if it's not working out. And New Yorker IQ will become untouchable because he will take his game to the next level. Yep. I think he's borderline untouchable now in the eyes of them, New Yorker, from what I've heard. Yep, from what I've heard, Emmanuel Quickly is the closest, one of the closest of the untouchables right now, and especially around the league. He'd be a dude that would understand and come in ready, gym all day, every day. Great work ethic as well. I think Tom Thibodeau loves him. Yep, as well. So yeah, we got a really bright future, right? We're sort of stuck in the middle right now. How patient do we be? We are on the verge of making a big swing, just like we did with Carmelo Anthony. Let me reminisce and compare where we're at right now with where we were right before swinging for Carmelo Anthony. Was it back in 2010? I think 2010, 2011. We had Amari, like let's say Amari is our Randall. We had a nice young core around them as well, sort of a borderline 7-8 seed team as well. That's where we're at right now. We're waiting to see what that next big swing is going to be, right? Except we're in a much better position with picks. We're much better position with a prime point guard like a Brunson, a la Raymond Felton back in the time. But I think Brunson's better where he's at right now. And of course, we have a young burgeoning RJ as well, which could have been a Gallo or a Wilson Chandler back then as well. But we've got much better young core. We've got other dudes. Cam Reddish is a big wild card in this thing, fam, ladies and gents. If Cam Reddish pops, then that could be a real internal move, an internal thing that takes this thing to the next level. Fam, I feel like that could definitely be a situation that takes this to the next level. So yeah, with that said, ladies and gents, like I'm really looking forward to Summer League. We've got so much talent on this roster. We chopped up the Summer League situation. Let me just flick that over. After the free agent signings, all attentions point towards another Summer League. We've got our young point guard, Deuce McBride, John Montero, sneaky great pickup, and Quentin Grimes. Of course, look for these guys to show out. Jericho, familiar faces, Amir Sims, and we got MJ Walker, Ferron Hunt on the two-way, Trevor Keels, our only draft pick as well. And we're less than a week away. So I'm really looking forward to this thing. It's on point. The chat's buzzing. The New York Knicks fan base is buzzing. All the podcasts are buzzing as well. It's just all about what's this next move, what it is, what's coming. I'm confident that they're going to be patient. They are diligent in terms of perception around the league and not getting played. Seeing some of these whopping deals like Rudy Gobert go for 5 unprotected firsts. We're playing on another level now. We're playing with the high rollers at the casino right now, and we better hope we go all in with the right hand to play. Referencing poker, when to go all in when you have a full house, royal flush, all of those kinds of things. What's Leon got cooking? Let's wait and see. But we have pieces that we can improve from within. Like Johnny says, don't want Randall to just get better. I want him a mountain of a man to stop somebody, to muscle for rebounds and to the basket. So yeah, we have improvement we can make from within, ladies and gents, and especially with our young players ascending. And I in terms of the Mitchell thing, I think Donovan Mitchell is a name I love to have. I think we need to exercise some patience, get in the discussions first, see what is the asking price, really take a deep look at this roster and take a look at it and say, hey, if Donovan Mitchell comes in, how realistically can we compete? What's it going to move? What's the subsequent moves to come after that? After what it's going to cost? Is it 5 first rounders, 7 first rounders and players as well, it's going to be crazy no matter what. As well, this free agency is going to go to another level with KD, Kyrie. Ayton hasn't been moved yet. As well, we still got some pieces like OG Anunoby out there, TJ Warren as well. So with that said, let's wrap it up for tonight. Let's get some rest. Appreciate you all. The streets are certainly buzzing with this situation as well. Like James says as well, Obi's another big season ahead for Obi and co. And let's get it. New York or nothing. Peace.